Hi, this is Peter Lander from Battlefield Sports. What I want to talk about really is why Battlefield Sports. What is it about our technology that makes it fantastic for commercial operations? Who's it for, and probably who's it not for? Battlefield Sports is really about running a practical, viable, indoor or outdoor laser tag business. Right? Generally, but not always, with an army theme. Certainly does a good sci-fi theme as well. We've got different models for that. But we're definitely commercially oriented. What does that mean, commercially oriented? Well, it means that the focus is on technology that is easy to use, is technology that delivers a fantastic gaming experience for the general public. It's technology that does it in such a way that the staff to player ratio is as favourable as possible while not degrading the player experience. That's always been a very important thing. We understand that we're about delivering a fantastic product for people to buzz about, yet do it in such a way that staffing is limited, so we're very, very efficient. This is quite different. If you're looking for a system that is really more hobby orientated, they're not really interested in those sort of things. They're really interested in maybe some really sophisticated missions, but not interested in how many people it's required to run it and those sort of things. Well, Battlefield Sports is not the place for that. I've run commercial operations since 1999, 15 years running outdoor and some indoor locations. And I've been around the world and visited lots of sites and got lots of emails and phone calls and so forth. And that has really helped evolve the product. So SATAR is a product built on tremendous depth of experience, right? And the Battlefield Sports products generally are built on that same experience. Experience about simplicity, robustness, experience about how to make that gaming experience just fabulous. And the technology that ended up being patented in the various areas for Battlefield Sports, well, they're just born of genuine practical experience. And I would like to take you through some of the features of the system and what makes it fantastic. The thing about Battlefield Sports system is it's very, very in-depth and sophisticated, yet very simple to use for running normal standard games. Right? And there's the training videos on those sort of things. So one of the things we really add, I think, is our depth for the Battlefield Sports University of really in-depth training videos, materials, things that are really valuable. Like, sure, you can get a gaming gun from somewhere, but I've been to a lot of places, and without the right instructions, how to do the marketing right, how to run the games right, how to do all those things right, commercially successful, then people fall flat in the face. So Battlefield Sports is really about putting holding your hand, really helping an operator towards commercial success. I think the greatest benefit is that we've made a lot of mistakes, right? And we've learned a great deal from our mistakes. One of the things that I found commercially, and that's what we're really about, is that you need to be really a mainstream product. What does that mean? Well, it means not on the extreme, right? We don't go extremely soft, and we don't go extremely hard. SATAR is capable of going in broad aspects, from a laser tag to Battlefield Live simulation, but essentially its core is in the mainstream. And the mainstream is about running events that run on time. The events that are easy to understand, yet compelling and fun. And the game that you really want to run for that, nearly always, is domination. And we've added a lot into the domination style game technology over recent years. We've also added a great deal into the zombie technology. The recent release of 2.0Y, having melee zombie attacks and really doing zombies really well, that's really popular. And you get really high throughput with that, with actors and props, and having it as a challenge. People get through it. I've done videos, you talk about how to run zombie games, but certainly that is in there. Now, the key feature, of course, is our patented hit feedback system, right? The hit feedback system is when your gun, if you're shooting at somebody with one of your guns, right, back through the radio system, your gun tells you hit them, tells you killed them. Now, that's unique to Battlefield Sports in an outdoor environment. because this is a turnkey solution, right? You can turn it on and it works. And so you can go traditional indoors with a big install and that will give you a hit feedback system too. But it's not a simple turnkey solution that you don't have nothing to install. You literally, there's a key, you turn it on and it works. It provides that feedback system straight up on the shooting gun. Why is that important? Well, we found that previously this is the experience, is that people didn't know they're getting anybody. Even if you've got hit lights, look, in the sun or at distance, very hard to tell if you can see that light or not. We have hit lights, of course, but much better to get the hit feedback right on the shooting gun. And then that allows us to provide real-time statistics, how many hits you made, how many kills you made, if you're running laser tag theme, how many deactivations and tags you've made, your accuracy percentage, and all that in real time. No complex download at the end. You don't want that. A download at the end will slow you up. A scoreboard where they're going all their stats at the end will slow you up. You don't have time. My experience commercially is that running on time is important, and you want to turn your games around as quickly as possible. So you've got to keep it simple, right? Apply the KISS principle. It's vitally important for commercial operations. Other things that are really cool, like, you know, on the gaming gun, this is a Spitfire, just so you know. It's got a red dot, not particularly exciting, that's aimed through, but this red dot is actually wired right into the main board. It's integrated, so as soon as the gun's turned off, the red dot turns off. That saves for those pesky batteries that always go flat, right? I don't know everyone else uses them, but we don't. We've got an integrated red dot. The red dot does our simulation of recoil. So when you shoot, the red dot disappears for about a second. Depends on the emulation. Different weapon layers, different recoil values. All right. So that's integrated as well. It also flashes twice when you hit them, and flashes 4 times when you kill them. So that's also unique and part of our patent. So that's something from Battlefield Sports you can't get anywhere else, because that's covered by our patented feature. So we also have on here a gun sensor. Now this is standard with Battlefield Sports, right? We actually have a gun sensor here. You don't get that with the other suppliers as standard usually. Also has a head sensor front and back, right, fully integrated, connected by a cable. I truly believe that the cable is the best way. I know you can get a Bluetooth things with a separate head sensor, but seriously, when you've got 100 gaming guns floating around and players going everywhere, there is no chance that all the sensors are going to come back after every game unless it's attached. They need to be physically attached, and you don't want a separate power supply in here. You want to charge once off the back, right here, put that in, charge it. One battery, big battery, runs everything, right? You just don't want 2 sets of batteries and continuously trying to pair up your head sensor. So it's got to be like that. You really do need a gun-mounted sensor. Look, without that, they're going to be blind firing. It really wrecks the game. We used to have that years and years ago. It's been standard with Battlefield Sports. It's interesting, if that hit feedback system with the RF, that is standard. It's not an optional upgrade. Right? We believe that the product that you deliver to your end customers, your gamers, has to be the best it can possibly be. Right? That's what gets them buzzing, and you don't want a second-rate experience. So you really need that as standard. Head sensors, I believe the head sensor is the way to go. You can mount these on a vest, that's fine, but you know, every time I see it on a vest, I know and I see it doesn't work properly. Because the problem is that people can look over the top of cover, right, and they can see the other guys, they don't have to put their heads down. Yeah, I know I've heard the argument about centre of mass. That's true if you've got someone in the open, but in reality, if someone's behind cover, you're going to shoot for the head, right? So the game works so much better with head sensors, and they're very hygienic, actually more hygienic than vests, because they're easily washed, because what you do is you put a bandana, which is easily washable, or a jungle hat or something similar, that goes on, and then the headband just goes over the top of that. These are really easy to wash. Everyone gets a clean one. It's very hygienic. And we also use that to tell the teams, like jungle hats versus the bandanas, or if you can colour code them to red bandanas or blue bandanas. Strictly known, they're actually head wraps, but you know, it's cool to call them bandanas, right? So, what are some of the other things? Look, the games are really important. The product is a combination of things. When you're actually looking at products about what you have on your facility, like props and those sort of things, what games you're running, how the technology interacts with the players to create that whole immersive experience, you know. And so over 15 years, we've spent a lot of effort evolving and making games that work, games that are practical, games that run to time. Now this is really important, you know, like throughout these are all sorts of crazy missions, but missions have to run to a particular schedule. You know, if you're running a 15-minute game, it pretty much has to run in 15 minutes, not 10 minutes, not 18 minutes, 15. And basically everyone needs to play at least 13 minutes of that game, ideally 14, a minimum. Because people are paying 50 cents a minute pretty much to play this game. You've got to give them value. They want lots and lots of action, lots of entertainment. And that's why domination is really good, because they play the whole time, there's action the whole time. That's a good one. VIP Escort has been well evolved. That's another one. The track missions, another one to look at. And for all these missions, we've got beautiful professional conceptual maps that you can use to understand how they run. There's a games handbook that goes through, explains how to run them with my game design notes in there. And there's either a voiceover or professional voiceovers or professional video briefings for all those key missions. So those that gives you a really good starting point for your business, right? And that can be, there's some laser tag themed ones, there's like laser skirmish, which are army parties ones, there's Battlefield Live ones. There's a great cross section you can choose from, and notes in there about which ones to use. So again, that's the depth of knowledge, depth of experience that, you know, I think we've developed over the last 15 years of running Battlefield sports. And some of the other things are really cool. You know, we've realised that being mainstream, it's about fun, right? And for example, the new mystery box in 2.0. Wow, everyone loves that. You go up to the box and you push it, and you don't know what weapon emulation you're going to get. Could get a musket, could get a rifle, could get a machine gun, could get a pistol. All the different characteristics of those sort of things. There's 69 different weapon emulations. And, you know, and they're locked with that for 90 seconds. And it's like everyone laughs and then cheers, and, you know, depending on what they got. And then they're in it, well, should we wait another 90 seconds to get another one, or the guy's going to get us? Should we move on? Should we stick with what we've got? Ads is such a great element, you know. The zombie games 2.0 code and system, you know, there's the armor upgrade box, like you're getting body armor. If you can get there, if you can get to the police station, you know, you can get there to the an ammunition box, or you can try and get a better weapon emulation from the weapon box. You know, you might get the infected, and then have to get to the cure box if you run the apocalypse version. There's so much to do with zombie games, which are really, really fun. And as I mentioned, the zombie head sensor, you know, where you can do a melee attack with the zombies, don't even need a gun. That's all you, and really exciting. But you get all this for Battlefield Sports. I mean, and more, a lot more. Royalty free. You don't pay any upfront fees other than obviously purchasing the physical hardware. You can use this technology royalty free, license free. You know, in running your games, running your business, the way you see fit, and that really makes the return on investment really quite strong compared to some of the other options where, you know, may well have some, in laser tag industry quite often, quite onerous ongoing fees. And commercially, we're looking at the total cost of ownership, not necessarily just the upfront. We are not the absolute cheapest out there. We can't be. We include incredibly well-made equipment. We include everything that you need at a standard. You know, not optional extras because they're important. That means you're going to pay a little bit more. You're going to pay a little bit more because this is genuine technology. You know, the reality is that there are pirated versions of systems out there. You know, and being pirated, they've saved on the development costs, and they make other shortcuts. But that isn't us. However, you will find we're very cost effective. Total cost of ownership is excellent. We have battlefields all over the planet. We really listen to the customers. A lot of new features that come in 2.0 and beyond that are from customer feedback and from our own experience as well. And we regularly run hundreds and hundreds of players every weekend. I run games practically every weekend for the last 15 years, I have a lot of in-depth experience, and that helps me guide our technology so it's practical. You know, we're great believers in this being a team game. We believe that the team culture is what you really want to develop. We're sure we have game stats or stats in the game, session stats on your display, but we don't have an individual score, and we don't do a ranking. You know, that's a mistake. To do those sort of rankings and stuff makes people wrong. And we're in the birthday party business, we're in the sports team breakup business, we're in the corporate entertainment business. And in all those businesses, you really want to focus on being inclusive, bringing everyone involved. You know, it's team oriented, everyone's got a role to play, everyone's got a part, everyone's got a contribution. Right? As soon as you introduce an individual higher ranking, just forget anything to do with team, forget anything to do with team objective. It's all about the individual, and that's an extreme thing. So there are suppliers that do that really well. If you're really interested in running like an individual oriented thing, you know, looking for the individual hero, look, definitely go and look at the other options out there, some really good companies. But if you're really interested in the philosophy of groups and teams and working together, and have technology and games that support you in that thinking, Battlefield Sports is for you. We are uniquely positioned to help that. Done that for every people with that, and we've done that for a very long time. So now some people worry that it's going to be too complicated, and if you're running like a mobile operation, or you're running you know, with maybe casual staff, we have a special locked out feature. You know, that locked out feature basically means they can't access any of the menus. They pretty much turn it on, it boots, and it's in red team, blue team, or whatever you preset it to. You can have it has a special master controller option, which reduces down to a very limited set of commands, enough to run a game, but not enough to do any, you know, get yourself in trouble by setting all the different options that they shouldn't be getting into. So you can really shorten your staff training, and I know for a lot of operators that's very important. You're running a rental business, that's even more important. It goes out locked out, the customers can't change anything. It's just set and forget and trouble free. There's a special options for that to set them up so they work really well for a domination game, but in lock mode. There's a spare device role. Then you set up a spare device that if anything goes wrong with anything, you can go to the spare device and configure it to be, you know, a red team or blue team gaming gun, or it could be a red or blue team medic box or domination box. So it just has a list, and they just pick from the list. It's really foolproof. So if you're wanting to really simplify your operations, which I can certainly understand after all these years of running, we'd want to do that. You definitely have that capability within the SATA system to give them just the options they need to run a basic and fun game. But if you want to run more sophisticated games, there's very powerful features, which I've been through some of those, but I really encourage you to look for all the videos. There's a video on all the things a master controller does. There's videos about different gaming gun models. There's all sorts of content that I think will really help you. And there's a 1 hour video available too at the Battlefield Sports University. It's a video from beginning to end of how to run a session, which I did. Right from the time we pick up a truck to go to the venue, everything you need to know, and how to do the briefing. Definitely encourage you to see that. So look, that's it really for Battlefield Sports as a summary. I very much hope that you decide if you're running commercially or looking to run commercially, you choose Battlefield Sports as your supplier. Thanks.